Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I bet I am not the only one who has gotten to about this point in a card where you've got your card base and your sentiment and the perfect color of ribbon, and you want to add an accent flower, but the flower just seems to be a little too white. You want the card base white and the sentiment white, but you need a little bit different color flower. And you want to get the right color to go with your project. So a few people have asked how I dye my flowers to match, whether it's to match a scrapbook album or to match a project that I'm working on. So I thought I'd jump on really quick with just one way. Keep in mind there are many ways to dye ribbon or flowers to match the look that you're going for in your project. So without further ado, we are going to jump right in. So I have a couple of ways that I like to dye flowers, and that is either using a watercolor ink or an alcohol-based ink. So this might be another option. I have several that are kind of go-to colors for me in the green family, the brown family, the red family, and the purple family, because I tend to sort of work in those color families, and I really like working in those families. So since this is a watercolor ink that we're going to be using, we just want to add a little bit of warmth. We want to bring down this white just a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on gloves, because although I love to get inky, I don't like having stained hands. So that's just my preference. You certainly don't have to. But I like putting on some gloves. And then I like to put down a little protection for my work surface. Just a inexpensive mat of any kind. And because this is a watercolor ink, I'm going to use water. I often will use rubbing alcohol. So I'm going to start with 1 drop of watercolor and my trusty Costco water. And I'm going to get that. Now, I don't know if you can see it or if you feel like it, but I feel like that might even have a little bit of a rosy undertone. I'm going to set my inspiration color sheet up here where I can see it. Now that I've got 1 drop of ink and just a smidge, like maybe a tablespoon of water. Yeah, I'm feeling a real purple vibe here. I'm going to bring that out so you can see what I'm talking about. I feel like this has got a purple vibe going on. With my dry hand, I'm going to reach for the inspiration. So you can see that this is definitely not the color we're going for. So now I'm going to squeeze this dry. And I'm going to do the unthinkable, and that is I'm going to grab some ink pads and see if I can't get a color that has, this is old Stampin' Up! Chocolate chip. I'm going to put a bunch of that down. And let's see if we can't get something that has, let's get some water on here. Something that has a little bit more, yes, it's messy, but it's great fun. And I want something that's got a little bit more of that beigey kind of color to it. Okay. Now you're saying, oh wow, Cindy, that's way too dark. Half of the fun of this is going with it to see what you come up with. So maybe that is too dark. No problem. It's watercolor ink. We will just stick it right back in the water. We're going to bring some of that away. Yes, it's messy, and yes, it's fun. Okay, now I'm liking where we're heading. This feels a little more beigey, but it feels cool. And I'm going to grab our color. Check that. It feels a little cool, where that's a lot warmer. So we're just going to keep going. No harm, no foul. And grab one of my most trusted. Maybe I shouldn't have picked beige to start with. There we go. One of my most trusted craft room tools, baby wipe. I'm going to pull a little bit of that off. All right. So I need something that is warmer. So I'm going to switch. I'm going to try some Distress Oxide, some brushed corduroy, and I think a smidge of gathered twigs. Let's see if we can warm that up some. And I think I'm going to go, believe it or not, with just oh, that's got some possibilities. All right, so now I'm going to go in. I'm going to pick up all that. Now we're moving in the right direction. Okay, I'm liking this. So I'm going to rub it all in really, really good. I'm going to grab my inspiration. I feel like I'm liking that. Might be a smidge dark. So I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer. And I'm going to hit it with just a teeny tiny bit of water. Not a lot. Just a little bit. Let's see what that does. If it lightens it up or brightens it up. Okay. So what started as a rather cosmic disaster is looking like it is going to be a much nicer fit for, I'm going to go with a little more water. I'm going to pull just a tiny, tiny bit more of that color up. And then remember, it is going to lighten just a smidge when it dries. So let's go back in. I think we're just about there. Okay. I do believe that I'm going to call that. We'll let this dry. It'll lighten up just a smidge, but I think that's going to be the perfect color of rose to accent the card that I'm working on. So just like I did it, play with it, try it out. No matter what happens, you can always undo it or redo it. And remember, you can turn any color rose into a dark purple, a dark red. So no attempt will be lost. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility when you're dyeing your own flowers to match a card. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a fantastic day.